Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Alright, let's see. We're going to go to our cosmic weather for today, get things started. So, let's check out our solar wind over at spaceweather.com. Let's see what we've got here. Alright, solar wind, 448.6 kilometers per second. Planetary K-index is at a 1. It was up to a 3 over the weekend. 24-hour high. Expected no higher than a 3. Look at our coronal hole. See what we have here. A little mini one. We could, definitely a triangle shape, but it's not the big one that we were seeing. But it is a triangle shape indeed. Of sorts. Has that little thing on the bottom, almost like a Starfleet insignia, right? Okay, moving right along, our chance for flares has dropped back down to 35% chance. Only a 5% chance of an X-class flare. Geomagnetic storms activity is kind of low, under 50%, actually even less than that. 35% chance if you're in the higher latitudes, and if you're in the mid-latitudes, it's only about 30% chance. We did have a object pass by the Earth yesterday. Well, lots of objects passed by the Earth, but this was a object that was half the distance between here and the Moon, 0.5 lunar distance. It was 12 meters in size, and if you didn't hear that it crashed, it's because it didn't. It just went right on by, like most of these things do. All right. Moving from space weather to astrology. For the month, we're dealing with the same sun sign, just for a few more days. Sun sign is Taurus. Taurus is an earth sign. Practicality, things of those nature. Earthly issues. And today here for our moon sign, we've got Pisces. Pisces is a water sign. Okay, so we've got unconscious as water. Now Pisces, the fish, you got fish swimming two different directions. Sometimes the emotions can take us in two different directions. And finding the way to go in the middle path is always the challenge. The Pisces are the sensitive, very sensitive ones in the astrology because the feelings are going both different directions. So it's the challenge to bring them back together to walk that path of decision as opposed to the path of indecision. So you got water for the unconscious, earth for the conscious. Mix them together. If you put a little amount of water on the earth, you can grow something. Put too much water, you flood the earth and you got mud. So just pay attention to how you work with the two elements in life today. It'll make a big difference. The moon, 33% full, so we're almost back down to a new moon again. On the Mayan Oracle, we've come to a 12 position, or a 12 tone. That makes today a 12 day, which is called the crystal tone. So today's a crystal. The kin in the middle is the world bridger. Today's a crystal world bridger, reflected by the 12th position and the world bridger in it. So today's a crystal world bridger, guided by the mirror. Supporting cast members, the warrior, Skywalker, and the eagle. The phrase for today is I dedicate in order to equalize, universalizing opportunity. I seal the store of death with the crystal tone of cooperation. I am guided by the power of endlessness. On the Gregorian calendar, it is May 14th, 2012. Alright. Alright. So, today, we're going to get things started off here with, this is RT, and it's a story about Ron Paul. Ron Paul did well over the course of this weekend. You're going to get an update on how well he did. He's winning these delegates out there. He's winning these caucuses, and behind the scenes, he's winning much more than what he's being reported as winning. So, check this out. This will inform you on what's up.
Let's begin this hour with a look at some changes in terms of delegate counts for the two Republican candidates left in the race. Over the weekend, Ron Paul scored big time at the Maine and Nevada Republican conventions. Paul got 18 of the 24 delegates at stake in Maine and 22 of the 25 in Nevada. Those numbers, of course, a little fluid, and we may not know the actual totals until the Republican convention in August. But we do want to show you some of the headlines that we saw. Check this out, how Ron Paul could mess with Romney at the GOP convention. Ron Paul power play at Maine GOP convention. Ron Paul wins the majority of delegates from Maine GOP, and Ron Paul nabs Nevada delegates from Romney. Now, for a whole lot of people in the mainstream media, Ron Paul continues to be ignored. But some people are catching on, saying at the very least, he is a force to be reckoned with. And I want to talk more about this, so let's go to political analyst Shelley Roche. Hey, Shelley, how big of a difference do these victories in Maine and Nevada, and as we saw last week in Iowa, make?
Well, these victories are hugely impactful. What we're seeing is that the establishment is in real trouble now. One of their primary go-to arguments against Ron Paul has always been that he's unelectable and that a vote for Ron Paul is a wasted vote. And what we're all seeing this weekend is that this is just not the case. Ron Paul supporters are greater in number, more passionate, and what we saw this weekend, more organized than anyone in the political establishment has given them credit for.
And just to put it plain and simple, I do want to put a map up on the screen, kind of showing the breakdown of the states as of now and who's won them. This map that we're showing, Ron Paul is in the red there, and 11 states have gone to him. Romney is in the blue, and then, of course, Santorum and Gingrich no longer in the race. They've only got a few states each anyways. So when you take a look at a map like this, you got to ask, you know, is this contest really totally over, as a lot of people are saying?
No, it's absolutely not still over. You know, they're a clear signal that despite, you know, the establishment's control of the mainstream media and their unlimited resources, and, you know, that they'd have you believe that the race is over and that Romney is a shoo-in, we're seeing that a growing number of Americans are actually starting to think differently and ask questions, and they're expressing their dissatisfaction with our political system by getting out there and you know, supporting a candidate like Ron Paul.
Over the weekend in Nevada, there was some interesting claims made. I want to play something for you, and then we'll talk about it.
Here's a guy, Mitt Romney supporter, wearing a Ron Paul shirt, sending out fraudulent documents trying to change the election.
So far, these claims have not been verified, but, you know, this guy here at the convention reporting that a Mitt Romney supporter actually put on a Ron Paul shirt and was trying to change some of the results here. Do you think there could be validity to this?
Well, it's certainly possible. I mean, if you look at what happened 4 years ago, the Nevada GOP shut down the convention when they saw that Ron Paul was winning. You know, we've seen any number of shenanigans happen because Ron Paul is such a threat to the establishment. So, you know, I think none of that is outside the realm of possibility, and I'll be very interested to see what happens.
Last week, and there we go, and wanted to give you a little bit of an update just to refresh your memory, because we're going to get into some more Ron Paul stuff in a minute. Let's jump to the UFO news, and then I'll be back because I have a lot of stories for you today. Here we go.
This is the UFO news with Joshua Poet.
Up here, UFO news. I've got 6 stories for you today. The first one comes to us from Scottsdale, Arizona. Scottsdale, Arizona, May 12th, over the weekend. Alright, UFOs about 5,000, 8,000 feet, approximately 25 to 30 miles per hour, moving from west to east. 10 to 12 of them, okay? Alright, we've all seen this kind before, the triangle. And there's more than... Very nice. Alright, you can see multiple sightings there above Arizona, Scottsdale, Arizona. Let's check it out. Alright, here's another one over Chicago, Illinois. Daytime, a UFO activity caught on tape in Chicago on the 11th. I was looking... I caught this weird looking ghost white UFO today, May 11th. I am west of this blob of energy looking eastward towards downtown sky. Sorry about all the shaky. Okay, let's just check it out. Alright. Interesting looking object there. Hanging there. Is that possibly a drone over Chicago? Let's just say UFO. It's definitely unidentified at the moment. Alright. Pretty interesting. That's what we got there. There we go. That's what we have. Now, what could that be? Very interesting indeed. Alright, next we have a story here from the Canadian agoracosmopolitan.com. Vancouver witness reports gyrating UFO. The Vancouver witness reports that he or she saw a UFO on May 9th, according to testimony supplied from UFO Sightings Daily. UFO is coordinated by Scott C. Waring, who is UFO researcher and author. Mr. Waring has been affiliated with the United States Air Force at SAC base. He currently owns an ESL school in Taiwan. The witness reports that they saw a UFO while walking home. We saw a UFO when we were walking home. The witness quickly decides to video the sighting. Okay, let's check out the video here. That's what we have up in the sky there. That's the object in question. Alright, video links available. Link to the page. Check it out. UFO flying parallel to Chem-Trail in Santa Rosa, California, May 2012. Okay, let's watch this. We're going to see the Chem-Trail momentarily. There we go. Alright. Zipping through right here. Having a hard time catching it right now, but you saw the clip at the beginning right next to it, so that's what we're looking for here. It's a longer video, about 3 minutes, so the video is available for you to check it out. This one here is over Slovakia. Looking in question, a little white dot in the midst of all the smokiness or the clouds. Alright. This is a great way to see an orb in less time. By using an IR infrared filter, you can see things that the human eye cannot. These things only reflect IR light coming from the sun and no other type of light. I love this video, and I myself am currently researching this more deeply. Alright, let's check this out here. Short video. Okay, just a 39-second clip. We should be seeing, we're right in the middle. I'm not seeing anything at the moment. Not seeing, is that right? There we go. It's right there in the middle. It's moving upward. Alright. Video links available for you to check it out. Last one. Monitoring of unidentified objects near the sun. There's another object up by the sun. Let's see if you can see this. Yeah, there's one the other day. It looked like a little round object that got pushed out of the sun during a solar flare, and then it flew back in, which is quite interesting. I'm not sure if this is the same one or not. Okay, we got something up here. Another one down here. Okay, a compilation of ships that are monitoring apparently the sun. Alright, so it's a nice good compilation of things that are up there that you're not normally seeing. There's one online, I'll see if I can find it for tomorrow's show, the one that looked like it was getting spit out from the sun during a solar flare. So there you have it. There's our UFO news for today. Alright, I'm going to jump away to have a moment to wake up. And when I get back, I've got a lot more news, so stay tuned.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes against this nation? Would you really want to know? These are big questions, but these questions deserve answers. It's time to demand the truth.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of
9/11 was an inside job. Kennedy was killed by the CIA. Jimmy Carter saw a UFO. Answers to secrets you need to know. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. The evidence is overwhelming. Step past your fear, take a look. Illuminati lies keep growing, but they're losing from your eyes. And wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What would our founding fathers say if they were alive today? Must be turning in their graves. Redcoats are coming, Big Brother's watching. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What if I land and two if I see? And I on the opposite shore will be ready to ride and spread the alarm through every Middlesex village and farm. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. When a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Patriots arise. It's time to demand the truth.
Okie dokie. Continuing right along. We're going to continue on now with Ron Paul. So you got a little taste just to refresh your memory about what's been going on with Ron Paul. That was the previous weekend, okay? The previous weekend he had that good success. You didn't hear about the mainstream. Now I want you to hear this is what went on this weekend. So these are 2 weekends in a row that you're hearing good stuff from Ron Paul. And it's just not 2 weekends. This has been a consistent thing. Ron Paul's been consistent during his time in office, during his campaign. He's been consistent as well. So let's listen to what is going on here. All right, here we go.
Hey, welcome back everyone. I am Matt Larson 10 and I've been waiting all day to see some sort of official reports out of Arizona and Oklahoma, but so far nothing but rumors and what if possible scenarios. If you aren't up to date on the events that took place yesterday in Oklahoma, I recommend that you pause this video right now, open up a new browser so you can see the news report that I just posted. I've heard very similar results from Arizona also. That is why I'm not able to bring you the official numbers yet. But here's some good news for everyone. Virginia held a few district conventions yesterday, and Ron Paul is doing very well in those. So far, Virginia has held all but 3 of their district conventions, and Ron Paul has 15 of the 24 elected delegates. Also, the chairman is a Ron Paul supporter from District 3, so that is another that you can add to the total. There are 49 total delegates, 33 elected in the district conventions, 10 are at large, 3 automatic, and 3 bonus. Now, the rules are not very clear on those when the 10 at large and the 3 bonus are elected, but the other 3 are the chairman, committeeman, and committeewoman. So as of now, Ron Paul holds 15 of the 24 elected delegates and only needs 2 from the remaining 9 to have the majority going into the state conventions. The final conventions are May 19th, so we will find out the results then. If you attend any of these events, please document everything, either from photos or video. We cannot afford any more shenanigans that took place in Arizona, Oklahoma, and Missouri. Now please remember to hit that thumbs up button, favorite, and share with all your favorite friends and family that still don't believe Ron Paul is winning. Also, if you're new to my videos, I ask that you click the subscribe button either at the bottom left-hand side of the video or the top left-hand side. Again, I am Matt Larson 10. Go Ron Paul. Peace.
All right, so it's doing really well, Ron Paul is. In Oklahoma and Arizona this last weekend, the rumors and reports are that he's won or is winning, that he's taken the majority of the delegates at each of those places, that the Ron Paul delegate and his supporters are taking over the conventions there. So, but there's also a lot of fighting back from the Romney campaign and so on. So a lot of stuff going on. It's just crazy old politics. That's what's going on. All right, here is a map for you. The link is available, so you can check it out. It says the real 2012 delegate count for the Republican primaries and caucuses. And if you scroll down here, you have this map. And all you have to do is you click over the map, click on the pin, it will tell you California primary, 172 delegates at stake, June 5th. And you click over another state here, and it tells you who won the delegates. This one was Santorum at that point in time. And you just keep going through here. Iowa, 28 delegates, 13 for Ron Paul, 12 to be determined in June. And you can just go state by state, and it's a pretty cool little way of keeping track of all of the delegate count. And of course, because it's interactive and because it's an ongoing process, how many exactly, that's the challenge. That is the challenge. But keeping up with it, well, what you'll find is that if it is such a challenging thing at this point in time, you can't really tell exactly who has how many, how the mainstream can go out there and spout these lies. It's just propaganda. They're just trying to get you to believe what they say without thinking for yourself. And if you choose, and you know others who choose not to think for themselves, I guess that's their choice, right? I like to think for myself. All right, this next story comes to us from English.cru. Russia, U.S. to hold anti-terror drills in May. Airborne troops from Russia and the United States will hold joint anti-terror drills in the U.S. state of Colorado between May 24th and the 31st. Spokesman of the Russia Defense Ministry, Colonel Alexander Kuchenko, said on Thursday. According to a spokesman, it will be the first time that Russian airborne forces have held exercises with U.S. airborne forces on the U.S. territory. According to the exercise scenario, soldiers of the two countries will hold a tactical operation, airborne operation, including the reconnaissance of imaginary terrorist camp and a raid, Kurchenko said. After the operation, helicopter will evacuate the soldiers. Kurchenko said that the Russian soldiers were also exercised with U.S. Special Services weapons in the drills at Fort Carlson, Colorado. Besides the spokesman, the Russian group will arrive a week ahead of the drills and attend a baseball game in the city of Colorado Springs. Well, this is the week before, and I wanted to read this article because there's been question, is this real, is this not? You know, there seems to be these reports that continue to come out about the Russian troops, paratroopers. Remember Red Dawn? Remember how that started off? Paratroopers, right? Russian paratroopers. And now Russian paratroopers are here training on American soil, or they will be. Very curious. All during the time when the NATO summit is going on. Curiouser. Alright, here's a trailer. This is another bit of information on 9/11. AE 9/11 Truth brings us to you. Here we go.
I don't want to be involved in conspiracy theories. You know, there are lots of them. They can go on. We can speculate on that forever. What we really need to know is how those buildings came down.
World Trade Center 7 collapsed because of fires fueled by office furnishings. It did not collapse from explosives or from fuel oil fires.
To undermine scientific integrity is to undermine our democracy.
This is what NIST has done, denied and ignored crucial evidence.
The American people absolutely need the truth of 9/11.
More than 1,500 architects and engineers and 12,000 others, including many scientists, have signed the petition calling for a scientific investigation of the destruction of the Twin Towers and World Trade Center Building 7. The report, issued by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, referred to as NIST, was not valid science.
They're talking about a single columnar collapse or failure that resulted in a total collapse of the building.
Building number 7 descended in free fall for the first 100 feet, which means that there was absolutely no resistance to the descent whatsoever.
So all of the columns really needed to be severed at the same time.
The symmetry is the smoking gun.
NIST has admitted it went into free fall for 8 stories.
You don't need to be an engineer or an architect to see what happened to those buildings.
Dit is controlled demolition. Zeker weten. Zeker weten.
What I saw, it was a classic implosion. The center of the core, the penthouse area, starts to move first, and then the building follows along with it.
NIST excluded the document from FEMA in Appendix C that documented the evidence of melting steel.
In an office fire, you cannot generate enough heat to melt steel.
There were these iron microspheres present in all of the dust samples. They needed to have been formed in extremely high temperatures.
All the characteristics of the microspheres, along with what I see in the attack of the beams that were actually found, tell me that thermite was involved in melting those steel beams.
In the dust, what we have found is a modern version of thermite, which we call nanothermite.
NIST concedes that they found no evidence for explosives. So then we asked them, well, did you look? And they said, no, we did not look for explosives or residues of explosives.
And in fact, the evidence is overwhelming that these red-grade crystals are very high-temperature incendiaries.
And we have watched as scientific integrity has been undermined and scientific research politicized in an effort to advance predetermined ideological agendas.
If this is a crime, I think everybody agrees it's a crime. Evidence evidence was removed from the scene of the crime. You can't do science when you are deprived of the evidence and when your hypothesis is the least valid instead of the most likely. When the most likely hypothesis in the case of Building 7 wasn't even mentioned. This is not science.
Very important information to know all about what's going on with that. Okay. Alright, moving right along. Here's a good question for the Obama administration. Last week we did the story about China. Talked about the bank, China taking over one of the banks here in the U.S. And then we talked about the China buying up the property and building a little China city. Well, here, why is the Obama administration allowing the Chinese government to buy up U.S. oil gas deposits worth billions of dollars? Well, this is a good question for Obama. If we are trying to become dependent on foreign oil, then why is the Obama administration allowing the Chinese government to buy up U.S. oil and gas deposits worth billions of dollars? This makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. The United States desperately needs to maintain control over its own domestic energy resources so that we can end our addiction to foreign oil. As I have written about previously, the United States actually has plenty of oil. If we would simply use the resources we already have, we would never have to import a single drop of foreign oil. But instead, we continue to be the largest importer of oil on the planet. And we are allowing China to rapidly buy up oil and gas deposits inside the United States. This is fundamentally wrong and is a serious threat to our national security, but apparently everything is for sale in the United States today, and that includes our precious energy resources. So, good questions on why that's going on. Obama is doing some things that we're not quite certain what he's doing. His latest one, here you go, this is an article from Mail Online. First gay president. Newsweek marks Obama's landmark announcement with controversial cover. Magazine attempts to trump rival Time in battle for eye-catching image. Alright, there it is. There's Obama. In a gutsy move, Newsweek has released the cover of their next issue, on the cover of which they depict President Obama with a rainbow halo and the title, First Gay President. The news magazine, which hit stands today, is using the shock factor of labeling the straight, married father of two president to draw attention to itself. Tina Brown, who edits the magazine, and its sister website, The Daily Beast, is known for the love of controversial covers to help boost public interest and sales. There we go. There's the upcoming cover. Alright. So, you know, it's not going to surprise me if in the near future Obama does come out and find out that he is gay, because everything else about him is a fraud anyway. So why would his marriage and his kids be any different? Okay. Here's another politician that needs to be fired. Dianne Feinstein. Get ready for more aggressive molestation at airports. This comes to us from Kurt Nimmo, InfoWars. An influential Democratic senator from California who chairs the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, Dianne Feinstein, wants more sexual molestation at America's airports. Appearing on Fox News over the weekend, Feinstein criticized Americans for complaining about hands down the pants groping by the government. She says it's very important that TSA keeps up its efforts, despite the fact that the public has not been terribly sympathetic of an endless parade of fake terror threats, the most recently admitted perpetuated by the CIA, that they used to violate their privacy in the most intimate ways. She also called for candidly killing more people in faraway places. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to do candidly kill the bomb maker and kill some of the other associates, because there is dangerous process in play at the present time, she said. Basically, Dianne Feinstein, you're fired. You're not a very nice lady, and how could you advocate that there should be more of this sort of activity by the TSA and not be sensitive to people complaining? What's wrong with you, lady? You're fired. Not even worth another bit of my time. Alright, moving right along here. For a long time, we have heard about the Mayan calendar. We've heard about December 21st, 2012. We've heard all the skeptics talk about it's not going to happen. We talk about those diehards who believe that's exactly what's going to happen. I myself have talked about it for some time. I talk about 2012 as a period of a galactic graduation. I've never talked to it as a time that the world is going to end because I've never seen it in such light. I see it as a big change, a time for us to step up spiritually, a time to us to open up and to evolve. Now, what we have going on here is a new finding that has people all talking. And this was played this last week. The new Mayan calendar found world's not going down in 2012, December 21st. The world is going to be canceled. A team of archaeologists from the United States has now found in the ruins of Guatemala City a new Mayan calendar, even older than the previously discovered. The new calendar contradicts the assumption that the world will go down in December of this year. It's indicated on a timeline that reaches 7,000 years in the future. So, first thought on this is I remember Project Bluebeam, and one of the things about Project Bluebeam is the talking of earthquakes and events that would occur and archaeological finds that would be made that would contradict findings that are out there. So that's one thought. This information suddenly came out during the year 2012, tells everybody don't worry, there's all these other years, and right away, this is making big news, as would be expected. But the Mayan calendar has been researched for a long, long time. This is new information. Have we lost our sense of being able to research, that we would look at something and we would right away determine that this was actually the answer? We haven't bothered to research this information, where it came from, what it really is saying. So before we jump to any conclusions, it's great that there's this information. It's great that there shows that there's more, because there is going to be more. But before we jump to conclusions and everything it means, we need to spend some time doing some research on this. That's kind of one of the problems that goes on. There's too many jumping to conclusions of things without adequately researching into what's going on. And vice versa, without researching and looking into things, people are making judgments and decisions in the other way. Those are called skeptics. Anyway, let me play this for you here.
Maya paintings don't preserve well in the tropical environment. But I excavated that 30 centimeters to the back wall of the room, and there was the face of a Maya king.
I got his chin and his lips.
He was wearing this resplendent blue feathered headdress, his white scepter in his hand, just sort of sitting on his throne. It was really breathtaking. This expiration date that's been placed on the Maya calendar, being only of a duration of 13 baktuns, these 400-year periods, is something that pop culture has placed on it. One of the numbers on the wall at Shultun extends to a period of 17 baktuns, and a clear indication that the Maya themselves were not sort of hemmed in by this finite conception of time.
Okay, so that's good. There's a finding. We'll explore that, see what it is. But, nonetheless, it is 2012. Things are still occurring, and we still are dealing with issues every day. Now, one of the events that's coming up, 2012 related, is coming up this coming Sunday, the 20th. 20th is a day that is talked about by Nostradamus in one of his quatrains, and it's also discussed in a couple of crop circles, mentioned in a couple of crop circles, because it makes a reference to this upcoming solar eclipse that will be taking place on the 20th. The crop circles themselves make reference to the return of Quetzalcoatl. So is this a time where there's going to be a major UFO event that's going to take place down here on Earth? Well, we will find out, because that's just 1 week away. It's also about the same time as the NATO summit is going on, and then we have the G8 summit going on, and then there's the Bilderberg meeting. So there's a lot of stuff going on over the course of the rest of this month here. All right, the thing I want to get into and address at this point in time is today's our 666th show. Been doing it for quite some time, so for this show 666, I figured it'd be a good chance to address the number 666. Let's take a look at what it is, because I've made reference to it in the past on the show and want to look at it now. 666. We're told it's the number of the beast. Well, let's find out. Alright, this comes to us from a place, religioustolerance.org. Says, people posting. Alright, the number 666 is derived from the book of Revelation, the last book in the Christian scriptures, aka the New Testament. It is perhaps appropriate that it comes from the 13th chapter itself, an unlucky number among the superstitious. A great deal of attention has been paid to the meaning of this number, particularly by conservative Protestants. The Roman Catholic Church teaches that 666 is simply a code referring to the Roman Emperor Nero. Many religious historians agree. Alright, now, I could say it's the number of Nero. The first thing we're going to look at is it's in the 13th chapter of Revelation, 13. Secrets of the universe are hidden behind the number 13. Then you're told the number 13 is a superstitious number. Don't look at it. Don't be concerned with it. Floors don't have 13 floors, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of superstition around it to keep people from looking at it. In tarot cards, the tarot card of 13 is the card of death. Hebrew word associated is nun. The whole idea of the number 13, it means unity and love, and it actually is about a seed being planted. You plant a seed grows, the seed dies to become the plant. It's still the same life force, it's still the same energy, it's just transitioning from one form to another, growing, evolving. We do that each and every day on this planet. We grow, we evolve. You say after 7 years we're not the same person we were because all of the molecules in our body have changed. So things change, we grow, we live, we die every single day in many, many different ways. Alright, so next one here, number of the beast. It's a term in the book of Revelation, the New Testament, associated with the beast of Revelation in chapter 13. In most manuscripts of the New Testament and English translations of the Bible, the number of the beast is 666. In critical editions of the Greek, such as Novus Testament Greek, it is noted that 616 is also a variant. The number of the beast is described in the passage of Revelation 13, verses 15 through 18, and the actual number is only mentioned once in verse 18. In the Greek manuscript, the number is rendered in Greek numerical form as sometimes literally as, I can't read that, 666. There are several interpretations, translations for the meaning of the phrase, "Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast," where the peculiar Greek word is used. Possible translations include not only to count, to reckon, but also to vote or to decide. Anyway, there you go. So 666, number of the beast. 6 numerologically, you got 3 sixes, so you got a master number because you have 3 numbers together that you're not going to reduce. If we were to reduce these numbers, though, we'd reduce them. 3 sixes is 18, 1 plus 8 is a 9, so we'd have 9. So we'd have some wisdom inherent with this. But because it's a master number, we're not looking at the wisdom, we're looking at the idea of balance, because you got 6 as a number of balance. I would say that the 6, you got balance, you got reflection. You've just got a lot of numbers in there that are balancing and unbalancing themselves and reflecting themselves. I don't know if that makes sense, but the Antichrist idea is the idea of the energy that is the opposite. So within the 666, if you look deeper into it, you can see the idea of reflection back and forth of the energies reflecting its opposites. So within that, here's another one here. This is from Snopes.com. They proposes the idea Obama is Antichrist. The Book of Revelation describes the Antichrist as someone with characteristics matching those of Barack Obama. Well, it says here status false. But here it says, according to the Book of Revelation, the Antichrist will be a man in his 40s of Muslim descent who will deceive the nations with persuasive language, have a massive Christ-like appeal. Prophecy says the people will flock to him and he will promise false hope and world peace. And when he is in power, he will destroy everything. Is it Obama? Well, it says a man in his 40s of Muslim descent. Okay, we know Obama is Muslim. It was stated on his when he was adopted by the Sotoros in Indonesia. He was stated as being Muslim. When he was campaigning, he was going to go campaign, as he said, in all 57 states. Not 57 states here in America, but there are 57 Islamic states. Obama's Muslim, so he fits within this. So Snopes, which is if you go to look into Snopes and see who really runs this site, you know, you have these groups out there that put out false information. Well, this is one of them. They're not being honest, because if they would recognize that Obama is Muslim. So very much he could refer to this. Now, I'm going to play this next piece here. I played this several times before. It says, did Jesus give us the name of the Antichrist? Okay, now, hold on. I got more to say through all of this. Let me play this first.
Did Jesus really reveal the name of the Antichrist? I will report the facts. You can decide. In Luke chapter 10, verse 18, Jesus said these words, "And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning falling from the heavens." These words are written in Greek and translated to English. However, Jesus spoke these words originally in Aramaic, which is the most ancient form of Hebrew. As you know, the Old Testament was written in Hebrew. If a modern Jewish rabbi were to speak these words of Jesus today, he would speak them in Hebrew, much the same way that Jesus would have spoken them. So in Hebrew, Jesus said that he saw Satan falling as lightning from the heights or from the heavens. So what are the words for lightning and heights or heavens in Hebrew? From the Strong's Hebrew Dictionary, word number 1299, a primitive root word meaning to lighten or lightning or to cast forth, the word is barak. In the Strong's Hebrew Dictionary, word number 1300, lightning, or by analogy a gleam, a flashing sword, or a brightness or a glittering, the Hebrew word is barak. So lightning, or a flash of light, in Hebrew is pronounced barak or barak. Now consider this amazing fact. The book of Isaiah is the source of origin for the Christian concept and understanding of Satan, or Lucifer, as Isaiah calls him, in chapter 14, especially in verses 12 through 19. In Isaiah chapter 14, verse 14, Lucifer, or Satan, is credited with these words, "I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High." In the verses of Isaiah that refer directly to Lucifer, several times it is mentioned that Satan has fallen from the heights, or from the heavens. The Hebrew word used in this text for the heights from which Satan fell is Strong's Hebrew word 1116, pronounced Bama. Bama is most commonly used to refer to a high sacred place, as well as to the heights of the heavens or the clouds. In Hebrew, the letter Wa is often transliterated as a U. Some scholars use the O for this transliteration. It is primarily used as a conjunction to join concepts together. So to join in Hebrew poetry the concept of lightning, or barak, and a high place like heaven or the heights of heaven, the letter U, or sometimes O, the Hebrew letter Wa, would be used. So, barak o bama, or barak u bama, in Hebrew poetry, similar to the style written in Isaiah, would translate literally as lightning and the heights or the heavens, or lightning from the heights of the skies or the heavens. The word Satan is Satan in Hebrew, a direct translation. So back to Jesus' prophecy in Luke chapter 10, verse 18. If spoken by a Jewish rabbi today, influenced by the poetry of Isaiah, he would say these words in Hebrew, the words of Jesus in Luke chapter 10, verse 18 as, "And I saw Satan as Barak Ubama." Did Jesus reveal to us the name of the Antichrist? I report, you decide.
Okay, the reason I wanted to play that for you was so that you could see that particular translation. Now, I played this before, and I have others out there who say, give Obama a chance. Don't be so hard on the guy. Okay. But I also know that my time on this planet, I've been told to read the Bible, that the Bible is a book that has truthful information in it. Despite the fact that there's all kind of controversy about it, I'm told to read the Bible. So I've done so. I've been told to listen to the words of Jesus, because Jesus is someone that is a spiritual teacher that we're supposed to listen to. He's God's Son. We should listen to what Jesus has to say. I know now that there is one translation, one. There may be other translations that say something different than this, but there is one particular translation out there of Jesus in the Bible that refers to the Antichrist as the name as Barack Obama. Now, this could be a coincidence, but we happen at this time in 2012, we happen to have a president with exactly that same name. Now, the Antichrist is someone who is a deceiver, someone who is not honest. Obama has not been honest about who he is at all. He has spent a lot of time covering up his background. He said during his bar information when he was getting the bar that he had never used another name before. However, he did. Barry Soetoro. It was when he was adopted by the Soetoro family in Indonesia. He was brought up Muslim. He has spent a lot of time covering up his background, spent millions of dollars in legal fees to cover up his background. A lot of deception going on with who this person is. So, one might dismiss all of this and say it's just a coincidence. It's a coincidence that Jesus said this. It's a coincidence that there happens to be one of many translations that are out there that has his name. It's a coincidence that he is covering up all of his past. It's a coincidence, it's a coincidence, it's a coincidence. But when do these coincidences end? When do we just add them up and say there's something terribly wrong here? So, does this mean Obama's the Antichrist? Well, I don't know if he himself actually is directly the Antichrist. I don't know that. But I do know that there's a whole lot of energy going on in the military-industrial complex that acts very Antichrist-like. There's governments around the world. There's the NATO organization, which is very Antichrist-like. And in many ways, Obama represents this Antichrist-like energy. He is a representative of a lot of this activity that's going on. So maybe he might not directly be the Antichrist, but if we were to look at the book of Revelation and the information as a time code, maybe it's saying during those times you will understand, because there will be this energy out there. Maybe Obama, just simply by making reference to it, tells us that we're in the time. We're in these end times of the book of Revelation. Something to consider. I don't think this should just be dismissed so easily. I know a lot of people said George Bush was the Antichrist. Well, I agree at the same way. The whole organization is Antichrist-like. The person who is the president is the head of that. Right now, Obama is the head of that organization. He's doing some very Antichrist-like activities. So let's look a little further. One of the things it said the Antichrist would do, we'd have the mark of the beast. So what is the mark of the beast? Well, the mark of the beast is a combination of letters and symbols that will physically or permanently be placed on your forehead or right hand. Most people will consider it an honor to receive the mark. It will be a key for them that will open doors of acceptance, prosperity, and peace. The mark of the beast will be placed on people who worship the beast and choose to receive his mark. There will be severe penalties for refusing the mark and great rewards for getting it. Alright, so we got the mark of the beast there. Here we go. Why would I talk about the mark of the beast? Because I'm going to show you this next. Obamacare. Coverage under Obamacare will require, let me open this up a little more, an implantable microchip. Could this be the mark? Okay. The Obama healthcare bill under Class 2, Paragraph 1, Section B specifically includes a Class 2 device that is implantable. Then on page 1004 it describes what the term data means in Paragraph 1, Section B. The term data refers to information on respecting a device described in Paragraph 1, including claims, data, standardized analytical fields be allowed, the pooling, analysis of data from disparate data environments, electronic health records, and any other data deemed appropriate by the Secretary. What exactly is a Class 2 device that is implantable? Well, let's see. Approved by the FDA, a Class 2 implantable device is an implantable radio frequency transponder system for patient identification and health information. The purpose of the Class 2 device is to collect data in medical patients, such as claims data, patient survey data, standard analytical files that allow for the pooling of analysis of data from disparate data environments, electronic health records, and any other data deemed appropriate by the Secretary. Okay. So now we have Obamacare, which makes a provision in there for a microchip. A microchip has been referred to as the mark of the beast. This mark of the beast, this microchip, comes to us care of Obamacare. Obama is the name that was mentioned by Jesus when he referred to the Antichrist. Are you seeing a pattern, or is it just me? Continuing on. Microchipping to begin in less than 36 months under the new healthcare bill. The new healthcare bill, H.R. 3200, just passed by Congress, has within it the requirements that all people thereunder shall be microchipped. The plans for the microchip have been in the hopper going back to December 2004. Witness the actual FDA document dated December 10, 2004, entitled Class 2 Special Guidance Document Implantable Radio Frequency Transponder System for Patient Identification and Health Information. This 10-page document can be read here. There's a link to it. Now witness the wording of H.R. 3200, America's Affordable Health Choice Act of 2000, found in Congressional House Ways and Means website on page 1001, subtitle C, National Medical Device Registry, which states the Secretary shall establish a National Medical Device Registry to facilitate analysis of post-market safety and outcome data on each device is or has been used on patient. In other words, microchip pursuant to the new health care bill must be registered with the Secretary. The Secretary is defined as the Secretary of Health and Human Services. The date by which this registry is to begin mandated on page 1006, which is 36 months after the health bill becomes law. Secretary of Health and Human Services established and began implementing the registry under Section 519. The Federal Drug and Cosmetic Act is added by paragraph by no later than 36 months after the date of enactment of this act, without regard to whether or not final regulation is established. Alright, so 36 months. So now we've got a bill. Now we've got Obamacare, which is he wants to chip people. It's not really known about in the bill, and those who do have any awareness, when it's mentioned, they say, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. Folks, wouldn't it be real silly if all this stuff happened that I'm talking about, and you knew about it in advance, and you were looking back in hindsight, and you said, boy, if only I had done something then. Boy, if when I heard that Obama was Muslim, I would have done something. But then I heard that he was Muslim and had a forged birth certificate. Still didn't figure it out. And then I heard that Obama was the Antichrist. And it says that the Antichrist was going to be Muslim descent. And I realized that Obama was of Muslim descent and has lied to the people. And the book of Revelation refers to the Antichrist that Jesus also talks about and mentions Barack Obama. But I still didn't figure it out. And then Obama went out and started giving money to the Muslims and started showing sympathy to the terrorists. Still didn't figure it out. And then eventually this Obamacare came out and we all had to get microchips because Obama's the Antichrist and the Antichrist is the one who gives the microchips, and well, that's in the healthcare bill. Wouldn't it be silly if down the road that was the conversation you were having with yourself, realizing that all of these things you knew and you saw, but you didn't do anything about? Well, before you get to that time where you're going to think of yourself as being silly, take some time out now to see how many of these things add up. One of them, two of them could be a coincidence. But when you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things, and on and on and on, it gets to be past a coincidence. America, I know there's a phrase, fool me once, fool me twice, fool me 3 times. America's been fooled more times than can even be counted. So it's time to find a new phrase. Maybe the new phrase is stop being fooled. Pay attention, wake up. Because being fooled is what happens on a regular basis. So do something different. Do the opposite. Alright, we're going to close things out now here with our meditation and our prayer. Let's just go ahead and close your eyes. Relax. All right. I'd like you to go ahead and imagine right now that you're walking down the path. And as you are walking down the path, you notice all around you that it is dark. You cannot see where you are going. You hear voices telling you where to go. You feel yourself bumping into others who are moving around blindly, listening to the voices telling them where to go. Finally, for some reason, you stop. And you open your eyes. And you look around and you see a room full of others bumping into each other with their eyes closed, listening to the voices from the loudspeakers telling them where to go, what to do. And with your eyes open, you're able to see a door, and you walk straight to the door, open it, and walk out. And you walk out and you look around and you peek into another window and you see into a room. You see the people that are on the speakers giving directions and laughing as people bump into each other at their misguided information. So you walk back to the room and you look at all the people walking around with their eyes closed and you holler, "Open your eyes! Wake up!" And everybody opens their eyes and they look around. And they all see the door and they walk out. And when everyone's gathered there in the hall, you walk by the other room and look in the window and you see those in there confused, wondering what happened, wondering why everybody stopped walking around and bumping into each other. And they look at all the people, they look at all of you, and they become concerned because they realize that their power relied in your being blind. Their power relied on you keeping your eyes closed. But now that they are open, they are powerless. And take a moment to feel compassion for them. In the same way, to feel compassion for all of the leaders of this planet who are simply misguided in their ways. And in feeling the compassion, we allow an opportunity for them to be healed. For perhaps through healing, they may find their way to being better leaders. Let's imagine all of our chakras are activated now as we walk along the path of life, continuing our journey. Let's activate the chakra at the bottom of the spine, red. Bring the energy up to the chakra above it, orange. At the belly button. From there, just below the rib cage, to the yellow chakra. Bring it up to the middle of the chest, to the chakra that's green. From there to the third eye, imagine the color blue. From the third eye up, from the throat to the third eye, imagine the color violet. From the third eye up to the crown chakra, indigo, turning to white light. Just think a good thought for everyone in the world. Send out love all around the planet. Now let's bring our energy and attention back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. There you have it, my friends. That's the end of our show, our prayer meditation. Lots of information to consider. It's not about trying to give one particular person or anyone a hard time. It's about pointing out things in life that we should be looking at. I want there to be good in the world. I want the good things to happen. I want the good people to have good things happen to them. And I want all the injustices to be brought to justice. But in order for that to happen, we have to open our eyes and really look at things the way that they are. We have to be real with what's going on. We can't be in denial, because denial has gotten us where we are. But by opening our eyes and really paying attention, we're going to see the truth, and then we're going to stand up. The only reason that the powers that be are winning, or appear to be winning, is because everyone else has their eyes closed. But once everyone else opens up their eyes, the powers that be aren't going to be able to do anything, because they will be outnumbered millions of times over. And it doesn't matter how many weapons or money or anything they have, they will be outnumbered millions of times over by good people. And good does win. Good will win in the end here, my friends. Just keep the faith. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.